Hey there, digital enthusiasts. Mehdi here, welcoming you back to another enlightening episode of Mehdi's Digital Classroom. Hope you've got your tech caps on because today we're diving deeper into the world of private keys. Specifically, how to securely store them in the vast digital universe. If you ever thought that physical storage was like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, or maybe you were just concerned about that tangible record deteriorating, like my attempt at a stand-up comedy routine last month, then this session is tailored for you. Now, if you're scratching your head, wondering what on earth a private key is, or how one would even go about storing it in a physical format, then you might have missed our previous session. And folks, that's a class you don't want to skip. So I'd highly recommend hopping over to last week's episode where we talked about the ins and outs of physical private key storage. It's the prequel to this epic saga. And for those who fancy a good read with their morning cuppa, guess what? All this content is also available in blog format. You can find the links right down there in the description. Go on, give it a click after we're done here. Alright, back to today's mission. I know some of you might be tech wizards, juggling multiple gadgets and lines of code before breakfast, while others might still be figuring out how to turn off that pesky autocorrect on your phone. I've been there. It once changed Mehdi to Meaty. But fret not. Whether you're a digital guru or a newbie just getting your feet wet in the world of digital encryption, we've got you covered. Securely storing your seed phrase or private key may feel like trying to understand why cats are afraid of cucumbers, a tad bit mysterious. But trust me, with a sprinkle of patience and a dash of persistence, things will start to make sense. And hey, wouldn't it be wonderful if technology just waved a magic wand and made everything simple and ultra secure? We're all waiting for that day. But until tech becomes our fairy godmother, let this episode guide you. We're going to navigate through the digital maze, ensuring your most prized digital possessions are not only shielded from prying eyes, but also always within your reach. So, ready to embark on this exciting journey? Let's dive right in. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of physical versus digital storage. Now, I get it. Some of you might be attached to the tangibility of physical storage. It's like holding a real book instead of reading on a tablet. But when it comes to your private keys, we've got to weigh our options carefully. Physical storage sure has its merits, but it's like that old-school vinyl record collection, precious, but not without its challenges. Let's walk through a few. Firstly, there's always that heart-dropping risk of loss or theft. I mean, misplacing your written seed phrase, having it stolen, or even experiencing the misfortune of a house break-in. It's not just the plot of a suspense movie. These things happen in real life too. Secondly, degradation is a silent enemy. Just as my youthful looks seem to be mysteriously vanishing over the years, kidding, I'm evergreen, paper can fade if it's left in the sun or exposed to moisture. And even those sturdy metal engraved backups, well, they might not rust as quickly as my old bike, but they can still corrode under certain conditions. Now let's paint a picture. You're on a vacation in the Bahamas, and suddenly you realize you need to access your private key. But oops, it's safely tucked away in your home, or worse, in a bank vault miles away. That's the issue of inaccessibility. And lastly, if you're thinking about getting a safety deposit box to avoid these mishaps, remember it's not just a one-time cost. Those recurring fees can sneak up on you. But fear not, dear viewers, the digital realm beckons with a solution. Storing keys digitally is like having a virtual superhero cape. It shields you from several physical pitfalls and comes with its superpowers. Accessibility. You can reach out and touch your digital keys anytime, anywhere. All you need is the right device and to remember those credentials. It's like having a virtual keychain in your pocket. Duplication. It's way easier to create encrypted backups. Think of it as making multiple safety nets. So if one fails, you've got backups waiting in the wings. Custom security protocols. Ah, the wonders of tech. Set up security measures like multi-factor authentication. It's like having multiple locks on your digital treasure chest. No physical footprint. With digital files, there's no worry about where to store them or if the conditions are right. It's as easy as storing memories of my last joke, though I hope those are memorable. Now, if there's a word I want you to tattoo on your digital consciousness, it's this: encryption. It's the cornerstone of digital security. Think of encryption as your digital disguise. It changes your private key into something that looks more like my attempt at abstract art, completely unreadable. Even if someone mischievous gets a hold of it, without the correct decryption key or password, they won't get any sense out of it. Alright, let's talk about generating your seed phrase digitally. Remember that time we chatted about what a seed phrase is? No? If you're drawing a blank, I'd suggest giving our previous discussion or last week's blog post a look. But for a quick refresher, a seed phrase is like the master password for your cryptocurrency wallet. And trust me, generating this phrase offline in a pristine, hacker-free environment is a must. It's like baking in a clean kitchen. You just don't want any unwanted ingredients sneaking in. So once you have your seed phrase, the next step is crafting the digital file. Open a basic text editing tool. Think Notepad, not a fancy software suite. And here's a pro tip. Instead of manually typing out your phrase, because, hey, we're all prone to those silly typing errors, just copy-paste it. But be cautious about the software. Some of them, like MS Word, love sending data to the cloud instantly, and we don't want our secrets floating around up there. Now, why should we encrypt it? Imagine having a diary filled with your deepest secrets. Would you leave it lying around? No way. Similarly, your seed phrase is your digital diary of riches. To help you grasp encryption, picture this. You have a note that says, "I love pizza." Encrypted, it turns into a jumble like this. Oh, $9 hash 23 LSF at 3A? To anyone else, it's just gobbledygook. But with the right key, it translates back to your pizza love declaration. But isn't this like using a password? Not quite. Think of it like this. With encryption, the diary's content is in a secret code. Without the special key, it's just alien language. Password protection is like having a lock on the diary. The content is readable, but you can't open it without the right key. For top-notch security, we want a diary with both a lock and a secret code inside. And there we go. You've just taken a deep dive into the advantages of digital storage. But remember, with great power comes, well, you know the rest. Stick with me, and we'll explore further how to ensure your digital assets are as safe as my humor is contagious. Ready for more? Let's keep going. Alright, folks. Now let's dive a bit deeper into the world of encryption. I know, it sounds technical, but hey, imagine encryption as a magical cloak for your important files. Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, but for data. Now you've got two options, the trusty standard and the high-level, top-secret agent kind. Although there are even more complex methods available, let's keep things simple and effective for now. We'll start with the familiar friend for many of us, 7-Zip. Not just for compressing your holiday photos. 7-Zip isn't just fantastic for shrinking those vacation pictures, but also for guarding your most sensitive files. How, you ask? Well, it comes packed with the powerful AES 256 encryption standard, which, in simpler terms, is like a vault door for your data. When you're setting up an archive in 7-Zip, you can sprinkle in some magic by adding a password. With the correct password, you can access the treasures inside. But forget the spell and the vault stays shut. Tight. And hey, if your password game needs a level up, stay tuned. We'll be diving into the art of crafting unbreakable passwords later. Pros of 7-Zip. It's user-friendly. No need for a tech wizard degree. The encryption is built in. No need to download some mysterious third-party app. The not-so-good part. Even with 7-Zip's top-notch encryption, everything depends on the strength of your password, so choose wisely. Lose the password and, well, it's a bit like losing the key to a treasure chest. Now for the hands-on part. To encrypt your file with 7-Zip, do the following. First, spot the file you want to protect and give it a right click. Second, from the menu that pops up, go for 7-Zip and select Add to Archive. Third, a new window appears. Seek out the encryption area. Then, punch in a memorable yet strong password and confirm it. After, make sure AES 256 is your chosen encryption method. And, click OK and voila! Your file now has its very own invisibility cloak. But remember, what good is a locked chest if you can't open it? Practice makes perfect. Try encrypting and decrypting your file a couple of times. It's like learning a new dance move. It might feel awkward initially, but you'll get the rhythm. And now, let's say you want to peek inside your locked chest. your encrypted file. First, spot the file on your computer. It'll likely have a 7Z or zip at the end. Give it a right-click and hover over the 7-zip option. Click on Extract Here, which is basically saying, hey, I want to see what's inside. A little box will pop up asking for your password. Fingers crossed you remember it. Punch it in, and 7-zip will start its magic, making your file visible and accessible once again. Remember, while 7-zip's encryption is as tough as a dragon's scales, the strength of your defense is as mighty as the password you pick. So choose a password as legendary as Excalibur, and you'll be golden. Alright, let's dive deeper into the world of dedicated encryption software, and of course, keep things fun and engaging along the way. Dedicated encryption software. Sounds fancy, right? Think of applications like VeraCrypt and AxeCrypt as the guardians of the digital realm. Their sole purpose? Protecting your precious data. While most software have side gigs like being able to play music or help you write emails, these ones have taken an oath, dedicating themselves entirely to encrypting your data. It's like hiring a bodyguard specifically trained to protect a celebrity. In this case, your files are the celebrity. Now, instead of encrypting each file as if they're wrapping them up individually, these tools create what's known as encrypted containers or volumes. Imagine it's like a treasure chest. Inside this chest, your files find a cozy and safe spot. And when the lid of this chest is firmly closed, it becomes as impenetrable as a castle with a moat filled with digital alligators. Advantages? They're like the superheroes of the encryption world, offering unparalleled strength. Software like VeraCrypt have this cool spy movie-esque feature called plausible deniability. In the unlikely event you're ever cornered to reveal your password, it's difficult to prove there's even encrypted data there to begin with. Their adaptability is impressive. You can fashion encrypted containers that fit just right, much like tailoring a suit. But as with everything, there's a flip side. Getting the hang of these tools might feel like trying to understand what a toddler is saying. Tricky at first, especially for those just stepping into the world of encryption. And a teeny tiny warning: if you happen to misplace the password, you might end up locked out of your digital treasure chest for good. Let's embark on a VeraCrypt quest. First, kick things off by downloading and installing VeraCrypt from its official website. Second, fire it up and look for the Create New Volume button. Third, a friendly wizard will pop up, guiding you to select your desired spot, define the chest size, conjure up a strong password, no password 123 please, and pick your encryption style. Then, once your digital chest container is ready, VeraCrypt lets you pretend it's a physical drive on your computer. Neat, right? And then, time to store your treasures. Transfer your files into this drive. But remember, always lock up after you're done. Dismount the drive within VeraCrypt. Now to unlock your VeraCrypt treasures. Step 1. Open VeraCrypt. Always be on the lookout for updates to stay on top of security. Step 2. Pick a drive letter that's just lounging around. This will be your temporary address for the treasure chest. Step 3. Click Mount, and you'll be prompted to find the VeraCrypt chest on your system. Step 4. Seek out your VeraCrypt container, usually sporting a HC hat. Step 5. A polite box will ask for the password. Type it in with care. A single typo can keep those gates locked. Step 6. Upon correctly entering the password and any magic keys if you've set them, the chest will appear as a drive. Step 7. Pop over to your computer's directory. There lies your treasure chest, open for you to gaze upon its contents. And Step 8. And just like after a party, always clean up. Head back to VeraCrypt and click Dismount to ensure everything's snug and secure. For the curious minds among us, let's delve into plausible deniability. It's like the magic trick of the encryption world. Picture having 2 keys for one chest. The genuine key, revealing your actual treasures. A decoy key, showing a harmless set of trinkets. So, in a tight spot, if you're forced to hand over a key, you can give the decoy. Your real treasures, still safely locked away. VeraCrypt is one of the crafty magicians offering this trick, but mastering it requires some serious practice. Now, After ensuring your files are safe, don't forget about the original copies. It's like leaving behind footprints after hiding treasure. Securely deleting the original? Here's how. First, right-click and hit Delete on the original file. Simple. Then, empty out your computer's trash can. And, for the ultra-cautious, tools like Eraser or Perma-Delete for our Windows pals, or Permanent Eraser for the macOS crew, can help scrub away any traces. Bonus fun tip. Picture encrypting within encryption as a Matryoshka doll. One safety layer inside another. First, you could seal a document in a VeraCrypt container. Then pop that container inside a 7-zip encryption. It's a fortress within a fortress requiring 2 keys to enter. Double the protection, double the fun. But a gentle reminder, always keep track of your keys, passwords. With encryption, as with all great power, comes great responsibility. Remember to handle it wisely and always have backups. And for those adventurous souls keen on pushing boundaries, nested encryption might just be the thrilling challenge you're looking for. Alright folks, let's dive deep into the world of passwords. You know, those tricky combinations of characters we often forget when trying to log into our favorite websites? That's right. In this modern digital era where we juggle countless accounts across numerous platforms, keeping our passwords both strong and memorable is of paramount importance. After all, we don't want any uninvited guests snooping around our private data, do we? So, what's the secret recipe for a powerhouse password? First off, size does matter. Aim for a password that's at least 12 characters long, then throw in a delightful mix of uppercase, lowercase numbers, and maybe even some of those quirky symbols. Avoid those personal tidbits like your dog's name or your anniversary date. Trust me, fluffy 1995 isn't fooling anyone. And please, for the love of all things secure, steer clear of the classics like password 123. Might as well roll out the red carpet for hackers. Let's cook up a password, shall we? Instead of something delicious yet predictable like chocolate muffin, let's spice things up. Seach0C0 at 3_muff1 n*2023. Now we're cooking with gas. But how do you remember such a delicacy? Here's a tip. Think of a catchy phrase like "the sun shines bright" and give it a little twist to make the 3_sun$3 SBR GH7. Another fun trick? Use the initial letters of a song you can't get out of your head. Maybe sprinkle in some numbers and symbols, and voila, you've got yourself a memorable yet robust password. Now here's a bit of fun. Picture this. Your password is FAR0G$0NM00N. Now imagine a cute frog chilling on the moon with $ eyes. Sounds silly, right? But such visuals can help cement that password in your brain. But Medi, I hear you ask, how on earth do I remember a unique password for every site? Enter the superhero of our story, password managers. Think of them as your digital locker. You remember one master key, and it manages the rest for you. There are a variety of these trusty sidekicks available. You have the built-in managers that come with your devices or browsers. While they're super convenient, their security is kinda like the guard dog that's more bark than bite. On the other hand, dedicated managers like LastPass or Bitwarden are like those high-security vaults in spy movies, top-notch protection. If you're a tech wizard, you can even conjure up your own with tools like KeePass. Once you've picked your manager, it's time to forge your master password. Make this one an absolute beast. Long, complex, unpredictable. You know, the kind of password that would make a hacker cry. And here's a pro tip. Let your password manager generate high-security passwords for your accounts. That way, even if someone gets their hands on your encrypted files, they'll be left scratching their heads. Now, I cannot stress this enough. Don't keep your encrypted files and passwords in the same digital drawer. That's like storing your valuables and their keys in the same place. A big no-no. And one more thing. Guard that master password with your life. Losing it would be like misplacing the key to the kingdom. Alright, champs. With these tools and strategies in hand, you're well on your way to being a password pro. So go forth, encrypt with confidence, and remember, always keep them guessing. Alright friends, let's kick things up a notch. You've now learned the art of passwords and encryption, but did you know there's a shiny little gadget that can give your security a turbo boost? Introducing the YubiKey. No, it's not a new type of sushi. I checked. Now you might be wondering, Mehdi, what's a YubiKey? Great question. Picture a tiny USB stick that's actually a knight in shining armor for your data. Crafted by the tech wizards at Yubico, the YubiKey operates as a two-factor authentication device, adding another protective layer on top of your password. Think of it as a double whammy against cyber intruders. Imagine this. You have a treasure chest, your data, and you lock it with a key, your password. But wait, there's more. Now, you put that chest inside a fortress, YubiKey. Even if some sneaky pirate, aka hacker, somehow grabs your key, they still need to breach the fortress. Here's the magic. YubiKey requires not just something you know, like that super strong password you crafted, but also something you have, the physical key itself. It's like having a front door that only opens when you sing your favorite song and use a key. Unless the intruder is a mind reader with an excellent voice, they're not getting in. And speaking of protection, let's talk benefits. A layered defense. Using YubiKey is like adding an extra moat around your digital castle. Phishing who? Hackers might trick you into spilling your password beans, but without the YubiKey, they're just fish out of water. Convenience is key. Despite being super secure, YubiKey is also super easy. Just give it a little touch and you're good to go. Now, where can you use this mighty device? From top-shelf password managers like Bitwarden to cloud giants like Google Drive and even your favorite social media platforms. It's like having a bodyguard for all your digital identities. However, like all superheroes, YubiKey has its kryptonite. It's a physical gadget, which means it can be lost, stolen, or, heaven forbid, stepped on. Imagine the heartbreak. My advice? Always have a backup YubiKey safely tucked away. It's like having a spare magic wand just in case. In the vast world of cybersecurity, it's always better to layer up, and the YubiKey offers a formidable layer of protection. So, next time you think of securing your data, remember, YubiKey might just be the trusty sidekick you need. Now, on to our next adventure. Alright team, now that we've got this cool, shiny YubiKey to amp up our security game, let's dive into another hot topic. Where do we safely store our encrypted seed phrases? Picture this. It's like deciding where to store your secret cookie recipe. Too obvious, and someone might snag it. Too hidden, and even you might forget where it is. Let's unpack our options. First up, storing on your PC or laptop, kind of like keeping your cookies in the most obvious cookie jar, right? Sure, it's handy since it's right there. You don't even need the internet to access it, and no third party is snooping around. But folks, remember Murphy's Law? If your computer gets a splash from that coffee or takes an accidental tumble, there goes your data. Plus, you're limited to accessing it just from that specific device. Next, ever thought of sending it to yourself over email, like whispering a secret to yourself? With email, it's like having a second memory storage. You can access it from anywhere and it doubles as a backup. But remember that nosy neighbor? Keep it away from your other emails if possible. Try using something like Proton Mail. Then we have the home or private cloud storage, the NAS system. Imagine a high-tech vault in your own house. It's private, you're in control. And you can access it from anywhere, but setting it up, that's just for you tech-savvy guys out there. And just like all tech, it has its own Achilles heel, physical damages. On the flip side, using cloud service providers like Dropbox or Google Drive, it's like storing your cookies at a friend's house. Super convenient, backed up for you, and accessible from anywhere. But sometimes you might have to pay them in cookies, and if they get a sneaky hand, they might just peek inside. Good you encrypted the files. Lastly, consider external storages like USBs or SSDs. Think of these as your portable cookie tins. Compact, easy to move around, and since they're offline, no online burglars can get to them. But be careful not to misplace or damage them. And like all good things, their time can run out, so they won't last forever. And now a few pro tips from your pal Mehdi. Be crafty when naming your files, but don't go so cryptic that future you gets bamboozled. Keep your passwords and encrypted files apart. Think of it like keeping your keys and your treasure map separate. And the age-old wisdom, always have backups. Maybe even 2 or 3. Because why put all your eggs, or cookies, in one basket? Alright, so what's the game plan? Get a solid wallet to kick things off. Write down your seed with care. Use trusty 7-Zip to wrap up that seed like a cozy blanket. Befriend a password manager to give you a strong, memorable password. Be smart when naming your file, like calling your cookie recipe Grandma's Broccoli Soup. And spread your storage options. A USB stick for a tangible touch and cloud storage for that anywhere access. And for those diving deep, consider 2 YubiKeys. Think of them as your security's secret handshake. And for top-notch encryption, give a nod to VeraCrypt. So there you have it, my tech-savvy friends. A map to keep your digital valuables safe and sound. Remember, it's all about finding the sweet spot between protection and accessibility. I've got faith in you. And hey, don't forget to join me again next week. We'll unravel more tech mysteries together. Keep those cookies safe and see you soon.